If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference, become a moment maker, and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Greetings. Good evening, fellas.
Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome to another episode of TSP. Just want to give Middle Tennessee a shout out. If you're in the Middle Tennessee area, we are giving away tickets to the Nashville Sounds on June 20th. Hop on over to our website, minuteswisely.org. Put your name in the hat. There's a little form you fill out. You put your name in your hat, and we're going to pick randomly. And good luck. We'd love to send you.
So I just did it today. It's really, really simple. Do it and go see a game.
Yes, it's on us. Our nonprofit sends veterans, first responders, Gold Star family members, sporting events. So if you fit that bill, jump on in and let's go. There's that noise again.
Sorry, I gotta turn my phone off. Man.
I hear like waves or something.
I'm getting a message. So sorry.
You son of a.
Sorry. Go ahead, Fleek. My bad.
That's all I had. I just want to make sure everybody knows June 22nd, Middle Tennessee. Let's go.
That's great. And I got one announcement for everybody. We also, along with taking veterans to sporting events, we are also branching out, and Fleek had this great idea, and I jumped on it as soon as I heard. We are taking, in June 28th to July 1st, I, rescue diver that I am taking two of our veterans that were on the show to Panama City for a Discover scuba diving class. So, courtesy of Minutes Wisely, Blue Green Vacations, Panama City Diving, and Captain Pat Green, we are going to be taking Chief Josh McKay, U.S. Navy, and Sergeant Jacob Neesmith, United States Marine Corps, 6 Marines, Discover scuba. So it's going to be fun. It's really easy. It's in 15 feet of water. They're in no danger whatsoever.
Yeah.
Me, I'm going to go like 90 feet because that's what I do. I'm a bubblehead, man. I love going underwater, but hopefully these guys will love diving, get certified, and then start diving more. And we're going to do more of these things. We're going to do more outdoor activities, fishing trips, hiking trips. Oh my God, hiking trips. Fleek, I just thought of another thing we could do.
I'm not taking people hiking.
I can. I could do 17 miles in 4 hours, man. No problem. Easy.
It's hot. There's skeeters.
But I want to actually say one thing about my attire today because I'm doing this for our guest. Because our guest he's a great person. I met him last year at the VFW National Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. He is probably the youngest national commander I have ever met in my entire life. And he's awesome. He's a Marine, but he's also a Purple Heart recipient just like me. And so today, in his honor, I am wearing a Purple Heart shirt.
You should have worn your dress blues.
They're not ready. And dude, I've got the ribbons. I don't have the big medals. I gave those away to my second cousin once removed. So I have to go get new anodized. I have to spend $400 on those medals. Now, Dude, he's not worthy of the ribbons. He's worthy of this, of the Boston Skelly Violet Rose hat, and the Purple Heart, National Purple Heart Hall of Honor to-go cup. So this is all for you, Commander. So
Thank you.
I love you, and Semper Fi, brother.
Semper Fi.
And so, with that said, Robert, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say, do you have your?
Of course I do. Yeah, as a Pope Catholic, yeah, I got it.
Never mind.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Robert, I forgot to tell you this. At the end of this interview, you have 2 questions that you're going to answer. 1, pick a number between 1 and 10, and don't pick 3 or 7. And then, yes, exactly.
Those are the best numbers.
And those numbers correlate with questions that we have all.
One of these days, we're going to mix them up so we don't have to give people ultimatums.
We should. I'm sorry. It's just we have everybody that we've had either picks 3 or 7, and we've heard that answer a lot, and we want to hear different stuff.
Yes,
So,
It makes it feel better. I'd love to pick 3-7 because that was my last unit.
which by the way, that unit right now is where my old unit was back in 05 to 08. 6 Marines.
7th Marines.
You're 7. 3.
Out of 29 palms.
Oh, dude, he's a badass. He's a badass motherfucker. That's what he is. 3-7. Those guys are bad. Actually, Robert, one of our fellow VFW members, Herbert Hill, is a 3-7 Marine.
Okay.
That's with the knife sticking
Yeah.
to it, right?
The cutting edge.
The cutting, yeah. You guys are badass mofos, man. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
So, Fleek, do you have anything else, or should we get to the main event?
Yeah, let's.
Robert, would you please? Commander Robert. Sorry, my bad.
All
Commander
right.
Robert, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, folks. My name is Robert Olivarez Jr. I am the National Commander for the Military Order of the Purple Heart. I'm a Marine, first and foremost. I was born and raised in Washington State. Navy brat, born on Whidbey Island Naval Air Station. Grew up in Skagit County, Washington, until I joined the Marine Corps, and did a few combat deployments. Did my time, came home, and just started wasting taxpayer money like I usually do.
Damn. And you went to boot camp, I guess, West Coast?
Yeah, I was a Hollywood
Marine.
Hollywood Marine. With real hills. Flat ground.
And the fighting still continues.
It's always going to be there for as long as we are all alive.
Dude, you got the hills, we got the sand plains.
Yeah. So it's a win-win for each side.
And then you went to, let me guess, you went to SOI West after that?
Yes. Yep, did SOI there at Pendleton, and then went to 3-7 and did my time with them, a few combat deployments. Did all that, did some other stuff. Was an instructor for a while and ended up getting out due to my injuries.
So, yeah, you medically retired?
No, it hindered me from being able to move on, but they were working at the retirement now due to the fact that they're looking back and seeing the injuries actually was something that should have been a reason for them to retire me out. So in that whole process, which is really nice, been doing it for like the last year, I think, and moving forward, hopefully they'll acknowledge that they sort of kind of messed up like they did when they gave me my first rating, and everything will get backdated and I'll be a happy camper.
Awesome. So what years deployed?
I did all the initial deployments, the initial invasion, so I was right there in the early parts with everybody else at 203, 04. Did all that stuff.
Were you and Andrew at the same time?
04 to 08 for me. So Fallujah,
Yeah.
05, Ramadi 06, 22nd Mule.
Yep. So we were there those times. We were attached to other Marine units during Battle of Fallujah, Ramadi. We're also in Al-Qaim majority of the time, and Husayba.
Oh, Al-Qaim. Holy
Yep.
shit.
So one of our Marines, Jason Dunn, got the Medal of Honor. I was there when that all went down, just on a different section of the city when that happened. And actually, some of the Marines that all received wounds I'm still in contact with. Some still live in the same states. They're all Purple Heart recipients and part of the Military Order of the Purple Heart as well.
Very cool.
Wow.
So now we just run the organization, try to bring to light, because not a whole lot of people know about the Military Order of the Purple Heart or what we do. Most people, when they ask about it, they think we're some kind of salvage organization where we pick up furniture and clothing to help veterans, but
Yeah.
And that's not us. That's the Service Foundation, who we are not with. We're the Military of the Purple Heart. We're just like the VFW, the American Legion, the Marine Corps League. We have all the same missions and purposes as everybody else. Take care of not only the Purple Heart recipients, but all veterans. And we have an array of programs just like everybody else. We have our youth services, which is ROTC and mentorship. We have suicide prevention, homelessness, welfare. Basically, it's taking care of patriots and veterans who are in need. We have a legislative committee program. We have a women's advocacy program. We have a regular advocacy program. All sorts of programs. We're the only organization that has a computer coding program, which nobody else offers, where we teach you how to code over the course of a year. Once that's done, we have a job fair where you can reach out to big old companies like Google, Microsoft, all sorts of people to see if they'll hire you or if you find somebody else to go work with. That's always a plus. So we're just trying to help give back to not only the Purple Heart recipients, but all veterans, and ensure that they have a better life and are taken care of and not have to worry about being homeless or how they're going to get their next paycheck or if they're going to be able to afford to go back to school.
Hey, Fleek,
Here's something weird.
I'm hearing something very weird in this.
That's what I was. It's gone now. I wonder if.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's in a hotel room. I wonder if it's the air. Was the air conditioner just run?
No, it's turned off. Everything's turned off.
Okay. Sorry. No,
That's
Fleek,
right. I can still hear it.
I'll try to clean it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut all this part out, but that was bizarre.
yeah, but that's great, man. So what years again? 04 to 08?
No, well, for Iraq was 03, 04, 05.
Holy shit.
So, good stuff. Miss it. It was a very lovely country.
Yeah, well, I've got a funny story about that because I was just on the phone with I've got my squad leader from 05. He is now an NCIS agent, 29 Palms, and he's actually moving. He's PCSing across to Cherry Point, where he's going to be the NCIS agent in charge at Cherry Point. But he just sent me a encrypted file of all of our pictures from 05, and I spent 30 minutes looking at these pictures, and these are like the best pictures I have ever seen in 05. Now in 05, granted, we didn't have the technology that we have today to take pictures or the terabytes of remember, like, we had to go to the Haji store and we had to go buy the terabytes of
Yeah. So I actually just found a bunch of negatives because it's when we had the wind up Polaroids before they went out of business.
yeah.
Found that, and then I found a few CDs because I remember at the end of 03, beginning of 04 is when we started having digital cameras. I was like, no way. So I was going through it, and it was like a blast of the past, being able to see everything
Yeah.
we took and places we were, from Kerbala to Najaf to Hila to Babylon up to Baghdad and Diwaniyah and all those other places. I was like, oh man, it just brought back some really cool memories. I was able to share it with some friends. I was just in Houston a few months ago, and
Yeah.
my friend's like, I don't have any pictures. It's like, well, I got a ton. So I just started going through what I had saved on the cloud and sending it to him so he would have something to share with his family and talk about
It's
his
crazy. It's crazy to think that, we were there, and I mean, you're 44, I'm 47, so I was 26 when I deployed I was the old guy at Parris Island. I had a college degree. I'm like, I'm going to go enlist. And yeah, I mean, I see pictures of me as a 26-year-old, I'm all like, I got my combat loadout. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, and I'm 47 now, and I just can't believe that I was there. Sometimes I'm like, shit, was I really there?
Well,
When I see these pictures, I'm like, I had to have been.
we talk about stuff like that. We'll come across one of the the certificates or what we call the warrants for like your NAM and stuff like that, and you'll read it and you'll think, damn, I was that stupid back then. What the hell was I thinking? When you start reading off the citation on what you did and why you received it. And so a couple of us guys, we would talk about some of the stuff we were awarded, and like, now that we think about it, it's like either we were high on something or we thought we were untouchable to do the stuff we did. Because now that we're older and more settled down, and you have a clearer mindset. You're like, would I still do that right now at this age? Or was that just a young and dumb thing that I did back then?
What battalion were you at San Diego?
Oh, let's see. 14. I want to say Charlie Company, 2014.
2081 Fox Company, Paris
Okay.
Ave.
All right. Yeah, I think I was Fox Company. No, sorry. 2014 Fox Company in San Diego, and then Charlie at SOI.
And I was Delta at SOI. Damn,
And
we
then
have so much in common,
a
brother.
lot of similarities, a lot of similarities. And then what was it? So then I was Lima with 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines.
Hey, listen, hey Flake, us grunts, we have a different language that people don't like. My wife, it took her like 3 years to understand what the hell I was talking about. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Excuse
Well,
me.
I did like a few things. I was dating this woman who I was in love with, who was also the mother of my youngest child, and we went to. It was a few eye openers for her because her name was Rebecca. She was never around the military, and we went to one of my doc's wedding, and I looked at her and I was like, "Babe, I was like, I love you. You're gonna hear some stuff that we did. I swear to God, I'm saying, it's stuff that we went through." And she thought she was going to hear like the worst things ever. And sure enough, you got Marines and corpsmen, getting drunk, and then all the stories start coming out about what we did and how we endured life, and us being shot at and how we dealt with it. And she just looked at me like I was all types of crazy. And then a few years later, I took it to a Marine Corps ball, and I did the same thing. I was like, so us Marines talk a different language. You're going to hear a lot of negativity, but it's negativity in a good way, showing that, I love you. We're here to, take care of each other. So sure enough, we went to the Marine Corps ball. I took her there, and luckily one of my other Marines, his wife Cody, took her in, and she's like, this is totally normal. But she was like in awe the way we were talking to each other, how we were just talking crap and putting each other down. She didn't know what to do with herself until Cody is like, this is totally normal, and gave her a rundown of how we actually are as a people.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, man, I do miss it. Just talking to you, man. It's just making me like going back to the '06 days and the '05 days. And were you on a Mew at all?
We did one, but before 9/11.
Was it the 30 worst?
No, what was it, 22nd, I think?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Nice little care float. A lot of the stuff that I experienced before 9/11 was like the normal stuff. And then once 9/11 happened, it was just combat deployment after combat deployment, and none of this stuff again.
Tempo was.
If I remember correctly, 7th Marines didn't do any regular, what we call regular deployments for who knows how long, until I think it was after 12. It was straight back to either Iraq or Afghanistan for them the whole time.
Well, dude, I went to Norfolk. I was in Norfolk 2 months ago, and I saw my ship, the USS Kearsarge, docked. And I hadn't seen the ship in 18 years. And you can see me, I'm pointing to it, but we got hazed by the Navy for crossing the equator, and now I have to walk. I can't run because of the Navy. So thank you, shipmates, for that.
I hear that's a big old event for them when they do those equator crossings. It's like a really big thing.
The shellback ceremony.
Yeah.
All day.
Dad was
It's
Navy. He told me quite a bit about it, and I started laughing, thinking that's
Dude, we
dumb.
were doing like star jumpers and leg lifts and monkey fuckers and
All
what
the
was
good
hey, Robert? When was the last time you did a monkey fucker?
stuff. Probably like '02, maybe '01. I was the NCO, so I'd be, I'm gonna, PT you until I get tired, and I'd sit down and watch them work, and I'd finally get tired like an hour and a half into it. Want to get stupid, we'd play stupid games. Ping pong, the classics.
Yep, yep. Oh my God.
Good stuff.
So big question. So you are a Purple Heart recipient.
Yes.
Do you mind talking about
Yeah.
how you
So yeah, I received mine in '04. We were actually with us gun teams, and now I think it was a Brigadier General Henderson. He was our battalion XO. We were out looking for a new fob after one of the firefights we had there in Al-Qaim. So we're out looking for a new fob, doing what we were supposed to do. Lead Humvee, we were following in the tracks. Lead Humvee went over a hill. we decided to go over the same hill and same tracks, and we stopped right before the hill and hit an anti-tank mine, which destroyed the whole front end of the Humvee, which resulted with a lot of shrapnel through legs and arms. Luckily for us, we were well protected because before '05, we had what was called Kevlar mat before the up armor. And I got the bright idea, since we had extra, to have the Motor T guys bolt the Kevlar mat to the bottom of the Humvee and cut it and bolt it on the inside of the Humvee. So that
Smart.
actually saved our legs. We did get, shrapnel from it and bleeding from the explosion, but it saved my legs. And I don't know, everybody credits me for, coming up with that because nobody else did. It wasn't standard to bolt on the Kevlar mats to the bottom of the Humvee, but that actually ended up saving us. It could have been far worse, and we could have obviously lost our lives or lost, legs. So that right there was probably a highlight, even though we were injured. But at the same time, my team, with the exception of me and the corpsman, everybody got medevaced out, and we just stayed behind because, one, I was pissed that I got hit, and two, I wasn't going to leave all my stuff for some Motor T junkie to come rummage through it and steal it. So I waited for them to bring out one of their tow trucks, and then we all went back a couple hours later.
Wow.
That was right outside of Alkheim there in what's that, HK Triangle over in Usaba. So good times.
Sounds, that's how I got mine. I got shrapnel from an RPG in '06, and I could totally relate, dude. But I don't miss those box trucks at all.
No, or the
Not in the
taxis.
slightest.
Or the taxis. I do love that here in the United States we have an array of color of everything and not just orange and white or something that's covered in red, blue, and yellow. So I do appreciate the color we have here. And it's nice not having to see the same thing all the time and wonder if that's a car you just passed 5 minutes ago. So
When was your Purple Heart ceremony? Was it at Camp Pendleton?
no, actually, I got my Purple Heart right outside the Alkheim train station there.
In country?
In country, yeah. A bunch of us got them in country.
I did not. I got hit, and then we didn't get our medals until October of '06.
Oh yeah, no, I got my medal. I want to say I got my medal about a month later. I got it. Yep. So we got it a month later. But also there was a lot of us that got it, and General Mattis was there presenting medals to a lot of people as well. So I think that's why, and that's around the same time that we lost a battalion commander and a couple other senior staff from a lot of the fighting and the engagements we were in there in Alkheim.
And then, well, you got out after this. And then did this inspire you to join the MOPH?
No, I didn't even know about it. So I got out. I wanted to be a bum because that was my my goal in life, to be a bum.
You want to be a what?
A bum. You ain't got nothing to worry about if you're a bum.
Yes. And the infantry, they allow you. You are a bum.
Correct.
They teach you how to be a bum in the infantry.
Exactly. So I didn't happen that way because I was married and I had kids. So I opted to be, which was my second choice, a stay-at-home dad. And I was out riding four-wheelers with my son one day, and I saw my old boss, who I used to work for, and I used to manage a tow company before I went into the Marine Corps. Well, I saw him, didn't think he saw me, so I rushed back home, and I looked at my son. I was like, we're going to hide for a little bit. Well, sure enough, like 15 minutes later, I just hear a truck pull up and brakes go off. And he asked me when I got back. I'm like, I literally got back 3 months ago. I've just been relaxing. And he's like, great, I'll see you tomorrow. So went back to work right after that for a few years, managing companies. And then I decided to go back to college to waste my money. Did that. And once I did that, I was on a date. And when I was coming out of the movie theater, I saw this H2 Hummer with literally 50 Purple Heart stickers on it. And I was thinking, wow, this guy is in love that he's a Purple Heart recipient. That's just crazy to me. Well, by chance or the grace of God, like he came walking out at the same time and had a problem with me looking at his vehicle and basically said, you have a problem. I was like, what? I thought someone was going to start fighting with somebody else. I look over, and he looks at me and he points at me. He's like, you have a problem that I'm a Purple Heart recipient. And at that time, I was like, what the hell? Why is some guy yelling at me? I'm like, no. I was like, I am too. And then like his whole demeanor changed. Walked up to me, pulled out this card. It's like, you ever heard of the military over the Purple Heart? Well, by that time I was pissed because someone was yelling at me.
Yeah, right.
For no reason. And he was a Navy guy, just, just saying. Uh, so, so he hands me his card and is like, about the military or the Purple Heart? I was like, no, what the hell is that? And by that time I was pissed. And he goes, well, we're like the American Legion, the Marine Corps League, the VFW, but just Purple Heart recipients. We'd like to have you. I was like, whatever, man. So I took the card and I left because I was pissed that I got yelled at by some guy just for looking at the stickers on his car. Left it up on the fridge. A couple months went by and the girl I was dating said, hey, I need to go to the mall. I'm like, okay, have fun, bye. Well, she's like, well, I need you to go with me so I can take the HOV lane to get there faster. I was like, fine. So I went with her. And we showed up at some building that wasn't the mall. And I was like, what are we doing here? And she's like, I want you to go to a meeting. And first thing that came to mind is like, I'm not an alcoholic. I was like, you've only seen me drink a few times with friends. I was like, I don't drink all the time. And she's like, no, it's that military thing. And it's like, what military thing? She's like, just go in and let me know how it goes. I'm going to go shopping. So I walked into this building. It was Elks Lodge there in Linwood, Washington. That's where they started having their meetings. And sure enough, a bunch of Vietnam guys, all Purple Heart recipients, looked at me, asked me what I was doing. The gentleman whose name was Keith, who, got upset with me, said, hey, how's it going? Asked me to have a seat down. And I was like, 2 hours of my life I thought I'd never get back. But I ended up signing up to be a part of the military of the Purple Heart that day. Because back then it was a cheaper fee than what we have now. And I just been ever since. So I've been with the organization since 2011. Made it up the ranks from Americanism officer to chapter level, presenting awards to ROC and NJROTC cadets, to talking about my experience in the military, my experience overseas, how I benefited from my time to all these students. Then became a department officer, and the rest is history. Went from department junior vice to senior to department commander. And I hosted the 2018 National Convention in Spokane, Washington. About a year or two later, I became the region commander and oversaw Washington, Alaska, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, and the Dakotas. And then I threw my hat in the bid for national, thinking, who knows, it'll be a shot. And then when we held the national convention in 2022 in South Dakota, I became the national junior vice, and now I'm the national commander running for a second term, and first time for a national commander to run for a second term since the 1940s.
That's a whirlwind, man. That's a lot.
Are you still in Washington?
I'm in the other Washington right now. I'm in D.C. We were just here for the Memorial Day event and some other stuff that we had to do. But I'll be headed back that way on Saturday.
Are you in Seattle? Where are you at in Washington?
So I'm north of Seattle, about 45 minutes in a town called Marysville.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So.
I love Washington. My brother went to UW.
Okay.
Washington is the San Juan Islands. Beautiful. And there's a guy you probably know. He's a Purple Heart recipient as well. He's in the VFW, and he's got that really big, dark beard. We saw him in Louisville.
Drew?
Yes. Yeah, him.
Yeah, he's an associate member, a member of my chapter.
Okay.
Yep.
How many members do you have in your chapter?
In chapter 12, we have 130 some members.
Holy shit!
There's a lot of Purple Heart recipients, believe it or not, in Washington State. A lot.
Wow.
So we do a lot for our members. The way I see it is, and I learned from the Vietnam veterans, is my generation or people right after me, we have a lot going on. So the way I approach people when I try to recruit them is like, hey, just sign up, just join. I'm not telling you to come to every single meeting. I'm not even telling you to come to your first meeting because I understand a few things that are going on in life. 1, you just got out of the military. 2, you are either just got married or starting your career. So that's like 2 and 3. 4, you have kids. 5, your kids have sporting events and stuff you want to do. And then 6, you want to relax. You dedicated all this time to serving our country. You want to sit back, not have to worry about getting up super early the next day or coming to a meeting after work. And you just want to sit back, have a beer, prop up your legs, enjoy your time with yourself or your family and your kids. And we understand that. But if you sign up, doesn't mean we're not going to keep in contact with you. So we'll call you every other month if there's a big old sporting event. We'd like to help, give you and your family tickets because we've made our chapter and everything we do family friendly. For us, we do have a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan veterans that only come out to the sporting events when we're recognized. So in Washington, the Seattle Seahawks and the Seattle Mariners are Purple Heart teams, and they honor and recognize all our Purple Heart recipients. So we just had the Seahawks give us the field and honor all of our members and their family members. Gave us tickets, took us to an event. The Mariners do the same thing. And we're currently working on trying to get it squared away and settle down with the Seattle Kraken, which is our hockey team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys just got the Kraken, which I haven't even seen them play yet.
Yeah, well, they're good.
I want to.
And then we've also tried, working with the Seattle Storm, which is the WNBA. We're working on making them the first Purple Heart entity for a WNBA team. And then we're also working on the Sounders, which is our soccer team. And then one of my friends reached out and told me, he's a Purple Heart recipient, that we had a professional rugby team, which I didn't even know was a thing. So once I get back, he's going to get the information, and we're going to reach out to them. And I basically reach out. I don't ask for money. I tell them, if you want to give us money, that's great. We'll take it. We're not going to say no. But all we're asking for is for you to recognize our Purple Heart recipients and our veterans and acknowledge the contract that they signed up until their life for this country. And one day of recognition is a lifetime of memories for these guys and their families. So that's what I asked for. But they sometimes go above and beyond and do donate to our organization, which is great. We put it to good use to, sponsoring our programs. The Seahawks did a good job and gave us a good chunk of money that went to pay for a gala that they're having there, and then also to help, try to curb veteran homelessness and pay for the few facilities where we have a lot of veterans that stay because they've lost their home. So they do a lot of clothing drives, paying for toiletries, bedding, stuff like that. And we also do, we also feed a lot of the homeless every month as well.
Dude, that's amazing.
And that's not just Washington, that's throughout the order. Every chapter out of each department has their own program where they help give back. And if they have an auxiliary, which I do promote, for those who don't know, the auxiliary is the backbone of the order. It's the spouses, husbands, wives, children of all of our Purple Heart recipients that come and help volunteer with us at our Viola drives or our awareness campaigns, or if they have an event, where they're trying to, get membership, they are crucial to our organization. So I would always, if you know a Purple Heart recipient or related to one, look up the MOPHA, the auxiliary, and see how they can contribute or how you can join them and help contribute to take care of our patriots and all veterans.
It's awesome. You'd be very proud, National Commander, sir. The Purple Heart Trail, I just made my fraternity, actually, and this podcast is also on the Purple Heart Trail. Wrote a proclamation. Fleek signed it. We are on the Purple Heart Trail for Tennessee. Tennessee is not, we're working on getting more stuff on the Purple Heart Trail. Tennessee, we have some stuff, a couple counties, but we're working on some more stuff. Now you go to Florida, everything is on the Purple Heart Trail.
Yes.
It's just insane.
Yeah, and it's the same thing in every state. You have a lot of stuff in Texas, Arkansas, Washington, Oregon, California. We just helped complete a guy out of Oregon helped complete the Medal of Honor Trail, but parts of it are Purple Heart from Oregon all the way to, I believe it's Massachusetts, which was a big undertaking. I-5 from Canada down to Mexico is the Purple Heart Trail. It's one of the longest ones. And I believe the people in Texas and California and Nevada and those other places are working to make an I-10 from California all the way to Florida.
Yes.
As a Purple Heart thing. So
I did, yes.
There's also a lot of states that are Purple Heart states, which is great. So we love that they honor and take care of our Purple Heart recipients and our veterans. So if we can get them all to acknowledge us and bring more more of the Purple Heart to light, because our one big thing is not a whole lot of people know about us, but also at the same time, the last records that we've ever seen, that I've seen, and I've, so some of the people I've worked with, is there's 250,000 Purple Heart recipients in the United States or possibly in the world, but we only account for about 50,000 within our organization. So with that 50,000, we're doing a lot. It's current, members, past members. So with them, there's a big push into bringing the Purple Heart to light to a lot of those who don't know, who probably belong to organizations like the VFW, the American Legion, the Wounded Warrior Program, Marine Corps League, AMVETS, and stuff like that, which is one of my main goals that I've been working with this last couple of years, is trying to get all of us to be on the same page. It started out at the chapter level, honestly, it started with the VFW and the Purple Heart out of Washington State.
Yep.
Drew,
Yeah.
the gentleman that we both know, he was actually VFW Post 7511 there in Monroe, Washington. I was chapter 12. We started working together. They became...
He's the one that gave me the proclamation. Him and that other guy from Louisiana, but we're not going to talk about him.
Yeah. And so Drew's been very avid supporter. And he does it in honor of his grandfather, who used to be a department commander, I believe, out of Arizona. And so he's been an avid supporter of the Purple Heart, working with us. So we started, like I said, working partnership to help each other out, because we all have our hands in the same pot. We each do the same thing. We all do suicide prevention, welfare, youth scholarships. We all do that. So we took it upon ourselves as like, well, why can't we make this greater and help each other out? Because there's Purple Heart recipients in areas where there's not VFW members, areas where there's not Legion members or Marine Corps League members. So we figured, why not help each other out and take care of each other? Because in reality, nobody's going to take better care of a veteran than a veteran. It doesn't matter what organization you belong to. My goal in this was advertising. Basically, it brings to light the Purple Heart to those who don't, like myself, who didn't know about it. It brings to light that we can help each other work, and stand by each other when we go to events. We could help each other legislatively, and I'll get to that part after a while. But once it started working at the chapter post level, we brought it to the department level, and guess what? It worked even better. So I mentioned that to now past National Commander Ferguson, who reached out to now Commander in Chief Al Liphart, who they were good friends with, and then they started that first MOU between the VFW and the American Legion. So that was an idea that I brought up. It went a different route than I wanted it, which is great, whichever, but we started that partnership. So we were the first organization out of all organizations to start a working partnership, which is great. Later that year, I reached out to the Vietnam Veterans of America due to the fact that I tell everybody they sort of kind of mentored me with, how organizations run. They were the one that pushed me to run for certain positions. And I wanted to give something back to them, because I don't care who you are or who you think you are. We have it better, and we'll continue to have it better and a little bit easier than the Vietnam veterans did. And that's all because of the work that they did, because of the suffering they went through after they came home. So I'll always pay my respects and be respectful, and hats off to all the Vietnam veterans out there. And so what we did is we approached the VVA and said, hey, I heard something about the Last Man Standing program. We want to do something better. We want to carry a legacy torch on behalf of all Vietnam veterans until the last Purple Heart recipient is standing, to keep it going. And if we can, we'll hand it off to, maybe another organization that'll keep it going if there's no more wars or no more Purple Heart recipients, to ensure that everybody for years to come knows about the VVA and what they've done for us. After doing that, I've had the Marine Corps League. We started talking about doing something. So I'm good friends with the Commandant of the Marine Corps League, TJ Morgan. He lives in my state. We talk quite a bit. And so we're talking about an ad swap membership, and once they do they get their legislative team up and going, signing on. I just reached out to a bunch of other organizations this weekend that want to work out, and this is why. After going to countless testimonies, hearings there in Congress, and listening to our organizations testify on what we need to do to take care of our veterans, I've realized these senators and congressmen will tell you no as an individual. So me as Robert, as a national commander of the Purple Heart, pushing this issue, it's easy for them to tell me no. But me as Robert, who belongs to the military of the Purple Heart, the VFW, the Marine Corps League, the American Legion, the Navy League. I'm an associate with the Vietnam Veterans of America.
Dang.
I do a lot of work with them.
You got them all, man. You got them all.
Yeah. So they're going to see me as six votes. So now that you add on our 50,000 to the, 2 million, 2.5 million, whatever everybody else has, they're going to see that group, as a bigger number. And if they see all the signatures from, backings from each organization, chances of them telling us no on issues we need pushed is going to be slim. And because they don't want to be replaced with someone that's budget friendly,
Right.
They're going to do everything they can to help us and ensure we get what we need taken care of. So I'm trying to work together with everybody, and people need to realize it's united we're stronger, but divided we're weaker. And as everybody knows, they tried to divide us this last year, because when we all testified, normally it's one big block over the same time, and they spread us out over a 2.5 week period, which made it harder for people to help assist each other and back each other up. But we went and supported everybody that we were with while we were there, to show them that we not only meant it when we signed on to their legislative, that we were going to back them like we said we were. And it was pretty successful this year. So we're going to keep at it, and next year we're going to do the same and just keep it going until we get everything we need for our veterans to be taken care of.
Robert, you have inspired me, because now I'm going to Reno. So thanks.
There you go. Yeah.
Now I got to go buy a plane ticket to Reno in July.
Well, we'd love to have you. It's a good networking thing, and it's also nice to see, maybe you can bring back some ideas on something to help you to restart.
I would love to sit down with you to see how I can help Tennessee out more.
Yeah, well, just so you're aware, we had the same problem with Utah, and I've been dealing with our patriot there, Sam Talkington, who's also the chief of staff for Utah. Finally met him after talking to him for 3.5 years. Showed up, went to a meeting with the American Legion and tell them how we could work together. He's like, well, I don't know. Well, one of the Legionnaires came up and said, well, I got like 7 Purple Heart guys that we're probably sure don't belong to you. And I was like, well, there you go. You got 7 guys right there. You make 8, 4 more, you can restart a chapter. He was excited, so we started working together, making phone calls, and hopefully he can get that up and running. And I told him, it's like, if you want to join the Legion, that's great. Nobody says that you have to be 100% active. Join. It's a numbers game, But also, if you have that time to give back, go, do that. I dedicate all my time to the Purple Heart. Yeah, I belong to the other organizations. I show up when I can. But they know, even I'm a Marine. I was a Marine before I was a Purple Heart recipient. But all my time and effort is dedicated to the Purple Heart to help let people know that we are an organization just like they are. Just because we're not as big doesn't mean we're this, that we're going to sit down and let them have all the fun and take care of veterans. No. We are one of 3 organizations, prestigious organizations out of the 100 and some that we have out there, that you're required to have a medal. There's only 3. The Medal of Honor, Legion of Merit, and Purple Heart. The one of 3 of the most prestigious medals where you have to have a specific medal to be a part of it. And that means a lot, and that goes a long way. And we're trying to let people know, it's like, yeah, just because you have 2 million people, that's great. But we have this, and we're doing the same thing with less.
I'm proud to be a MOPH member. I was North Carolina for a long time, and then
I was just there.
Yeah, See, and that's okay. That's going to work into my other question. But yeah, but I transferred over to Tennessee to help you out and help Tennessee out. And Mr. Abbey, he basically is like, yeah, you're going to be the chief of staff, and you're going to whip those guys into shape, which I'm going to need your help with that. I got Craig, and I know Francis has been helping out a lot, but yeah. I need to call you more. I need to get some more mentorship on how to do things, because I've been so embedded with the VFW for the past 8 years. I've kind of forgotten the other organizations, which I'm also Marine Corps League. I'm also American Legion, VFW, MOPH. I'm not, and maybe there's 2 more, but I can't remember. Sons of American Revolution, which
Yep.
those guys, I mean, sometimes you'll get some veterans in there. And I know my chapter, we have one Purple Heart recipient, and I'm working him to try and get him into my post or my chapter. But
Well,
I'm going to need your help, sir.
just do what I do. Say, hey, I know you have time, just join. We all have benefits. Everybody has different benefits. And, like you mentioned with that cruise, maybe tell them, like, you can go on this cruise, they take care of the MOPH. That's, something that you could use to help you out.
It's funny.
Yep.
Before you got on, Fleek, because we've been actually talking to Richard Fuller when we had him on, and we want to be the podcast for the Warriors Honor Cruise. And Fleek has to give him a call. He's all about it. But I gave you all the information. They'll take applications, I believe, in February. Jason Johns, the past department commander of Wisconsin, you know him, right?
Yep, I know Jason.
He's going on the next cruise.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So this is something I could reach out to him on Monday after.
Yes.
Talking about them becoming a Purple Heart entity and then letting us know when we put it out. We would love to work with them just like we do with the Purple Heart Hall of Honor, where they let us know and then we put it out to all our departments to do a little raffle or pick somebody to go on this trip. We could do the same thing, asking how many people they could take, maybe a couple out of each region.
30. We
30?
had like 30.
Okay.
We had 30 warriors, and then they had their spouses, so it was like 70 people. It was.
And so that'd be super easy. We can pick so many out of each region and then just have them all apply to go on this and have a good time. And there's a lot of things that we work with that people reach out to us, like Wounded Warrior in Action would always reach out to us, organizations that want to give free housing or cars, and we just put it out to our membership. And that's what we do because they are deserving. So, and that's, a lot of people don't know we do stuff for them like that. They just think we want you to come and hold the viola, make money for us. That's great. Bringing the Purple Heart to light is always great. But there's more than just coming to the meeting and chatting. There's certain chapters where they have lunch in the morning or, Tuesday lunch. Great, whatever. Do what you want to do to keep that brotherhood going, that brother-sisterhood going. That's great. There's ones that throw events or do joint events with other organizations. It's something we promote because it's for the good of the order. And it's bringing stuff. Like I got something to talk to a lot of other people on later, but we have, some really good things coming down the line for us, especially with these podcasts. It's just something we haven't done before in the past. And we're looking to bring more exposure to the Purple Heart and let all the other people know that, hey, we're here for you. We can help you. And, we're just another tool for them with this.
And your IT Bubba is 45 minutes away.
Yep.
The national IT Bubba for the MOPH. Fleek lives in Clarksville. Okay. Kevin Busick, great guy. And Kevin, if you can hear us, we want to interview you, dude. So sign up.
And it's a duo. We got Kevin and Beth, and Beth has done wonders for us on social media.
Beth is awesome. She's great.
Bringing everything and putting it out there, and that right there is a good example of someone, a spouse, giving back to her veteran and the community. And I'm pretty sure Beth signed up as an auxiliary member, and she's doing a lot for us by posting social media, bringing to light what everybody's doing across the country. Which is great because, for instance, maybe I'll be traveling down the road and I jump on Facebook and I see something's going on in Wyoming, Colorado, Oregon, Idaho, and I'm passing through there. That'd be cool to stop by and show them support, meet some other Purple Heart recipients. So that's always.
She was spot on. Like May was crazy for me because that's when, not May, April is crazy because everybody's ordering the certificates. Yep. Everyone's ordering the medals. I gave out 7. I did 4 high schools. I did 2 colleges. I was just like going like Cookville, over here, and everybody loved your certificates. They loved it. Like with your name on it and your signature, they loved it. And they send their praises and lauds and thank yous.
I thought I'd do something different with the certificates this year because it is a national program and it's something that we push. But, I felt like giving it a home feeling because even though it is a national program, I don't know any of these students or these instructors. You know, a lot of the department commanders, chapter commanders, Americanism officers are the ones that deal with them yearly. So I thought, you know, by adding that extra line to let the chapter commander, department commander, or Americanism officer sign that would bring it more back home to that and have more of a good effect or feeling on the students and the patriot due to the fact that these students, and it's given out to a third year, see that same patriot year after year after year. So they do create a bond because I know for a fact when I was the Americanism officer that I talked to a lot of these kids and they asked me my experience and I asked them if they were which branch they were joining. Then I'd make fun of them and they said anything but Marine Corps, but it was all in good and fun. But you know, it was an experience for them, and you know, it helped them, you know, move through or you know have better ideas and more knowledge of what they're going to expect and stuff like that. So that was just my idea. You know, if re-elected, national commander will keep it. If not, the next commander could change it and do what they need to do.
So let me get this. You're trying to be the commander again? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm running for a second term. Yep.
Everybody, vote for him.
Correct. Well, we have a good team. All of us, you know, myself, my senior vice Tracy Brown Green's good, and my junior vice Francis Figueroa is really good. And Keith is he's awesome. We have a really good team. One of the younger teams that you'll see out of any organization, we're all Iraq, Afghanistan veterans. So that's a big plus.
Unreal, man. I've never seen that. Marine Corps League, VFW, never seen that.
Yeah. Well, there is one. So like the Wounded Warrior, they're all obviously Iraq, Afghanistan, and so is Afghan-Iraq wars. So
IAVA, yeah.
So them as well. But we're a more older, established organization, so we took that first step with having everybody be an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran, which at first everybody was like, is this going to work? And I'm like, well, yeah, why wouldn't it? You all voted us in. We've all held leadership positions, so why wouldn't it? So, but we've made really good strides, a lot of progress from years past, and we're just keep moving forward and, you know, bring the Purple Heart up to date and let more people know that we're here to stay and we're going to be here forever.
Have you reached out to our lovely friends at Irreverent Warriors yet?
I have not.
If you need numbers, I'm going to send them to you tonight.
Shoot them all over. We're all about working with other people and getting stuff going. So we just don't want to be us. It's a team. There's no I in team. So if we're all working together for the same purpose to take care of veterans and ensure that they have a better way of life and they're healthy, you know, and in a good spot, you know, mindfully, you know, that's what we want to do. So we're not going to be like, well, we're Purple Heart recipients. We're better than you. No. Yes, we're Purple Heart recipients, but not only do we take care of our patriots, we take care of all veterans because everybody suffered in one way or another, and not all wounds are visible.
Before we almost
whoa. Sorry, I was kind of hogging stuff, Fleek. I'm sorry, man.
Question: can you break down the Purple Heart, like the history of it, like why the purple, why George Washington, why the shield, why the green leaves? Do you know that info?
So, yeah, no majority of it. So the Purple Heart was actually the military badge of merit, and it was almost like a good cookie award or good job because they weren't getting anything. It was basically for morale purposes. Well, after that, you know, they started looking at it and having other awards that President Washington decided we needed to give them something for injuries and everything else. So that's when they created the Purple Heart Medal for wounds received against the enemy. And so they went and created it. Since he was the first guy, they used his bust. And then they just made it the heart. Do not remember what the leaves were for. In my book, I have what the colors for, but it's one of the most recognizable and iconic medals that we've had, and the oldest medal that we have in the United States military.
Yeah, very cool.
And I will see. Well, are you going to go to Mount Vernon in August?
No, if I'll be down in Tampa for an event with the joint organization which we started working with, which is the U.S. Army Ranger Association. And
yeah.
So I've done a lot of reaching out, and a lot of people want to work with us and do stuff with us. So this event, since we're coming, they're actually paying for it. So none of this is coming out of the MOPH pocket. So they're flying us out to be at their event in honor of August 7th, Purple Heart Day.
Fleek, is it time for the question?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
So, Commander, pick a number between 1 and 10, and don't pick 3 or 7.
All right, let's pick 2 and 9 for 29 palms.
Oh man,
You got it. You
yeah,
got it.
you guys. I don't
First
know.
number.
I don't know what it is about you 29 Palms people, but you love it there. Like Herbert, another 3-7 guy, he was there for a year and a half, and he loved that. I hated it. I've been there twice. I don't like 29 Palms.
Because you didn't live there. You just
Sam
came there for
Wilson.
training.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you went to
saw.
Wilson. Yeah, you passed Lake Bandini, greatest lake in the world, straight to Camp Wilson, and then you just trained on range 400 or whatever range you had you on, and you hated it. So a lot more to do in the actual and main side of 29.
All right. No, that's fair enough. Okay, question number 9. I'm going to go with 9.
All right.
Can you share a story of personal triumph or an accomplishment during your time in the military that you are particularly proud of?
Yeah. So when we deployed, I had a lot of the parents and wives come to me with my junior Marines, my corpsmen, and ask me to bring them back. And that's a lot. That is like a whole world to put on your shoulder. After all of us getting hit multiple times, driving through multiple IEDs, and realizing at the end that, yeah, we did have some scratches and scrapes and bruises, that I was able to keep that promise and bring them back. And the biggest accomplishment was as we all came back home and to watch their family members run up and give them the biggest hugs and then come up and thank me for taking care of their sons, their husbands, their brothers. But also with that, attribute it to a lot of me being hard on them so that they weren't lax, but also the training that they had to endure in order to not break and come back. So I think the greatest thing is I did lose a lot of friends that were in other sections and in other companies, but to bring my guys back, everybody that was in our section, was to me was one of the greatest accomplishments I've had in Marine Corps.
That's a good one. Fleek, write that down. That's a good one. That's one for the cookbook.
It's recorded.
Yeah.
But man, Commander, this has been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming and doing this for us.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully,
Do more with
actually,
y'all later.
I think Fleek and I are going to be doing another Purple Heart episode this
Oh.
year, right? Right, Fleek?
I would love to.
And we'd love to have you back on with about 5 or 6 or 10 other Purple Heart recipients and talking about their stories.
You tell me when I can make it happen.
Yeah, bring some people with you.
Yep, I can bring you as multi generation that we have out there, which would be great, and then you could see
That would
what we
be,
have
would
with
be
the
amazing. That'd be
tips.
one for the books.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope.
I
But
can do.
Robert, thank you so much, man. Enjoy your time in Virginia and DC, and get home safe to Washington. And this episode will air not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Okay, well,
Yes.
send us the link, and we'd love to share it all over our socials and let everybody know about you guys as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Stick around for a second while we'll wrap this up. Till next Sunday. Peace out. Thanks
See you
for
guys. Thank you.